Hey guys, it's Sam from the College Town Podcast. This week's episode was a rough one to say the least. We don't have half of our audio this week as Derek's audio corrupted on us twice. As you can see here, this is the moment we found out the audio corrupted for the second time. Unfortunately, we weren't able to film for a third time due to time constraints. The good news is we believe to have found the source of the issue and we have it resolved for next week's episode. Thank you all for your support and patience. We really appreciate it. Please feel free to like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. We'll see you in this week's episode. Thanks.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the College Town Podcast. Derek DeBurger.
I'm Sam Roth.
We have already recorded this episode, but my audio in this here beautiful microphone corrupted for some reason.
So we're on take 2.
Yeah, we're on take 2. I should have known. It shocked me in the recording. I was shocked by the microphone.
And we're shocked that we don't have any audio.
So,
Here we
we're
are.
going to get a little bit of a shortened, condensed show this time.
Yes, absolutely. So let's recap these games this week. What happened this week and what were we talking about in week 5?
Yeah, well, the biggest game that everyone's talking about, Louisville beat NC State now 5-0.
Is that what they're talking about?
That's what everyone's talking
Everyone around these parts, maybe. That's what they're talking about.
about. Everyone's talking about it.
Man.
I can't get enough. Forget Deion Sanders.
It's a, yeah.
Man.
The baby.
Yeah.
I forgot about the baby.
Everyone's talking about Louisville.
Oh, man.
And Jack Plummer. We got plumbers. We got HVACs. We got
Thrash.
thrash.
Yeah, whatever that is.
Thrash.
Oh.
Rural thrash. Don't look that up, by the way, people. That's gross.
I don't even know what that is, thank goodness.
Rural thrash.
Fair enough. But yeah, Louisville won against NC State on a Friday night.
Yeah, setting up a big game against Notre Dame, who also
Yeah.
they beat Duke in a close game.
Yeah, closer than what a lot of people thought. Poor Lincoln Riley, I was supposed to say. Riley Leonard. Let me get the name right. Thought he broke his leg.
I did too. I was like, there goes the knee.
Oh my goodness. He's going one way, his leg stays put, his defender's on him. Thank goodness it's only a high ankle sprain.
He was screaming.
Yes, holding for it as well. So turned out to be a high ankle sprain.
Yeah.
In the last recording, we found out that it could be a couple of weeks or a couple of months, depending on the injury.
Mm-hmm.
So we think tape it up. Hopefully he's better. At least it's not a season-ending injury.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're speed running these.
Yeah. We
Um,
also got LSU Ole Miss. That was a great game. Shootout.
Shoot out as it can get.
Yeah.
Does it look like a Big 12 matchup?
Trust me, that was an open. You could tell that was an open carry state.
Firing away. Still think it's so stupid that fans are rushing the field against a 12, 13 ranked team, whatever it is, like a non-top 10 team.
They were ranked 13.
Yeah, it's what, yeah. I don't know. Ole Miss looked good-ish. LSU looked good-ish.
The offenses looked good.
Yeah, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels, Jackson Dart. You're not big on Jackson Dart, are you?
No, I just think, I don't know. Like, everyone that's come through there's been a system guy.
Right.
I'm not, if they do ever get, like an Arch Manning, if he decides, Texas.
Yeah, what's
He's gonna
Texas?
transfer. I'm assuming Arch Manning's good, by the way. I don't actually know. That could be a dangerous team.
If you're
You get
going
a legit quarterback
elite prospect.
in a very, very good system. That's
Mm.
scary.
But all he is to use a system quarterback, Jackson Dart is. Whereas Jaden Daniels, you're pretty high on, right?
He's very good.
Yeah. You're like, oh, yeah. Without shadow of a doubt.
Yes, that's correct.
All right, moving on to another two good quarterbacks. Unfortunately, one was out for this game. Texas versus Kansas. Texas kind of pulled away from this one, won 14-40. Kansas, though, without Jalen Daniels. What do we think? I think Texas is rolling.
Yeah, that's impressive. That's a very
Don't
impressive win.
Don't see them stopping. I mean, it is unfortunate. We don't know exactly what's going on with Jalen Daniels. As a matter of fact, we have a little bit of time. I'm going to try to take a quick gander at it.
Yeah, why not?
let's see.
The backup quarterback, whose last name is Bean.
Yeah, he looks pretty good too.
Yeah, he's a solid quarterback. You know, he's good. It's just Jalen Daniels not very good.
Misses practice Monday due to back injury. So it's a back injury. 4 hours ago, so he missed practice today. So we'll see what he is.
He still might not be playing. Interesting.
Lance Leipel said he and Daniels are communicating frequently. So we'll see what the timetable is. It seems like there is none for him. But yeah, Texas looked good. Continue to roll. Another team that we thought was rolling, but it's kind of slowed down a bit, coming into some big powerhouse teams in Oregon and USC. That's Colorado. To be fair, they kind of started off real slow, brought it back, but it was too late in that game. We're without Travis Hunter and Shiloh Sanders, though. So wonder how much that game would have changed if they've had two of their better players on the defensive side of the ball as well as offensive side.
Yeah. I don't know. Against USC, without two of their starting guys in their secondary, they didn't stand a chance.
No.
Caleb Williams can pick them apart.
Which is probably Colorado's strong suit is their skill positions on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
Not really too much in the trenches going on.
No. But I don't know. Colorado's got Arizona State. So, you know.
Hopefully they can
We'll see.
beat Jaden Rashada.
Yes. You think he's going to play?
Why wouldn't he? Is he injured?
Is he still hurt? I don't know.
Oh, I didn't know he's hurt.
Pine is also still hurt.
Oh,
He's hurt. So
no.
Jalen Rashada doesn't play. They're down to their third string.
How exciting.
Yeah.
Or not.
Another Friday night game, just like that riveting Friday night Louisville NC State game that everyone watched. Oregon, Utah State. Oregon lost their first game of the year to Utah State. I'm saying that backwards.
You said that.
Utah, Oregon State. Utah State would never beat Oregon. They would never beat Oregon.
Imagine. I mean, maybe in basketball, but that's about it.
Not even in basketball.
They had a decent team last year.
Yeah, but
Utah
Oregon's
State.
solid.
Traditionally, yeah. But anyway, side point. Utah still without Cam Rising. You were saying in the last one that you thought Utah is a good defense and you still believe in them.
Yes, that defense absolutely. They're not reliable
Without Rising.
until Cam Rising comes back. You just can't really trust them right now in big games, but that defense is going.
Well, how about DJ find a way to win games for the Beavers over there in Oregon State?
DJ, what's his last name?
Ugalele.
Nope.
I got close, right?
No.
Ugalele.
That's closer. That's much closer.
Shout out DJ.
Shout out DJ U. Uy Ungalele.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you want to do these or that? Want to rapid fire them?
We can.
All right.
Well, there's also, Georgia pulled out a close game against Auburn.
Oh yeah, that is right. Yeah.
Between the hedges.
Absolutely.
Is that Auburn or is that Georgia? The hedges, between the hedges.
Is it both?
I feel like that's Georgia. I don't know.
It might be. I do love the hedges. I think they look really good.
Oh, it's great. Visually.
Yeah, absolutely.
Visually.
Yeah. If there's one thing
Much like Lala.
to remember about that game is that Georgia looks vulnerable on the ground against the run defense, as well as
I said it before the season started. They lost too many guys in the draft the past 2 years.
I mean, Auburn was alternating quarterbacks and finding a way to run the ball on the ground. The problem was at the end of the game they had to throw and wasn't getting much done.
Yeah.
And then you got Brock Bowers is the savior for the Bulldogs right now. Fantastic player.
Scary man.
Very good. Yeah.
But yeah, sure. Let's rapid fire
Yeah.
some of the news of this week.
Sure. IU fired their OC, Walt Bell.
Walt Bell. The offense sucked. Part of that is probably because they have a freshman playing quarterback. Trace Jackson Davis's brother, Taven. I think it's Taven.
Mm-hmm.
Taven Davis. No, Taven Jackson. Sorry.
Davis.
Sorry.
Hyphen. Davis.
No, it's Davis is in there.
Oh.
Just Taven Jackson.
Oh, more you know?
Yeah.
Oh. But, yeah. Indiana basically has scored 3 points against Ohio State. They scored 14 against Louisville, and then 17 against Maryland. So, of the notable games, they scored 41 against Akron, but it's Akron.
They scored 29 against Akron.
That's a. Then who they score? Oh, Indiana State was 41. Yeah, so you can see why the move was made. I'm always curious about what's the hierarchy in the coaching.
Yeah, who gets because in this late in the season you can't go out and get an offensive coordinator. You got to promote from within.
Right, but at the same time, it's like it's interesting to know like how much duty the head coach has on which side of the ball, and like there's offensive coordinated coaches like Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss, who's very heavily in the offense, and same with like Jeff Brom at Louisville, where it's like it makes you wonder like Indiana's coach is a very defensive coordinator, right? So
Tom Allen.
Good old Tom Allen. Other news for Georgia Tech. I mean, in world of
coordinator news. Georgia Tech demoted their defense coordinator. Didn't fire him. He's still on staff. They demoted him and then promoted Kevin Shearer to the full-time job.
Which I think is kind of stupid, in my opinion. I think it just creates animosity amongst the program and stuff. So I'd rather think if the guy isn't the guy and he's gotten to a certain point, you just gotta say good riddance and move on. I feel like
I can see that.
that's my take on it and what has to happen.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, it could be a situation of too many cooks in the kitchen, as far as like this guy used to be a voice, now he's not, and it's like, well, when he talks, it's like, do we listen to him or do we not listen to him, or do we listen to him but do we not listen to him as much as we listen to this guy?
Well, also, it's one of those things where it's like tale of two halves for this defense. They looked really good week one against Louisville for a half, and then the second half they looked awful. Same thing with who they played, Bowling Green.
Bowling Green, they went up 14-0 on Bowling Green. Gave up 38 unanswered.
Jeez.
And then scored 13. It was too little, too late.
Right. So I mean, like they've been in position to win games, but then their defense has failed them. You all right over there?
Yeah, I'm choking on some water.
Oh.
Didn't do this last time.
No, we did not.
Wow.
For those of you who also have not been keeping track of Iowa's scoring, Derek most certainly has about this. What's going on over there with Iowa?
It feels kind of Hunger Games-esque, what I'm doing. It's sick. I'm preying on a man getting fired from his job.
And which man would that be?
That would be Brian Ferentz.
The offense coordinator for Iowa.
Nepo baby calling the plays at Iowa in Iowa City right now.
What does he have to do to keep his job this year?
He's got to average 25 points per game for the entire season.
And where they hold on?
Currently at 22.2. And their starting quarterback, Cade McNamara, just injured his leg, out for the year.
Yep, out for the season. Done.
Yeah. So that's not going to help at all.
Do you think he's going to make it through this onslaught? I mean, looking at their schedule, I mean, look.
Their offense is so bad.
I mean, does he keep his job? Because I mean, like looking at the schedule ahead, they don't really have too many tests ahead to where they could survive and make a game, still make a good season out of this. I mean, they got like Illinois, Rutgers, Northwestern. I want to say like the most notable one they still have is like Michigan.
I think they
Right.
Michigan.
Right.
I don't know if they Michigan, but they still play Michigan.
Yeah, so they have no, they don't have Michigan. They have Purdue, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Northwestern, Rutgers, Illinois, Nebraska. All winnable games in my opinion, but does he save his job? Maybe not.
Because the thing is, over these next 7 games, they've got to average more than 25 points a game.
Oh yeah.
To get the total average to 25 points a game.
And the only game where they did that was against Western Michigan, 41 points.
Yeah, they've done that
They've only
this year.
scored
No, they scored 26 against Michigan State, right?
right, but I don't think that's enough to get the average from 22 to 25 is you got to be in the
It's not. You're right.
you're going to have to be in the 28 30s to make it happen consistently, which we'll see.
Yeah.
and more of a storm fire going on up in East Lansing, Michigan. So obviously the firing of Mel Tucker with cause has happened for Michigan State. And with all more news coming out is their mega booster Steve St. Andre, who announced his SD4L official NIL brand with the university, has just decided to cancel all his deals with the football players effective immediately. What do we make of this?
What we make of it is that there's going to be a lot of people transferring out this coming off season. A lot of people are going to leave.
Yeah.
My question is that I don't know if the 30-day rule still applies. Like, I don't know when that window started, when it first opened. They could have some guys leave now, but the problem is I don't know if they can join another team. So it's like, do you really want to leave because you're not getting NIL money from this guy if you're not going to be able to play football for this year?
Right.
So.
And also, do you really care about the season ahead if you know you already got one foot out the door?
Yeah. I don't know.
But also, who knows how many opportunities are going to be there for all those guys?
Yeah. I mean,
Portal can be a scary place. But
I
yeah.
don't know. They didn't. I think a lot of people. I don't think there are very many people that thought that they had a bad roster going in the year. You know.
So
So a lot of these guys could stay, and whoever is the next coach could keep a lot of them do well.
So, I'll ask you this: rest of the season for Michigan State, do they sink or swim? Do they? And here's the line for you: make a bowl. Do they make a bowl?
Let's see their schedule.
Gotcha.
Before this, I would be very inclined to say like, no, they're fine.
They got Rutgers, Michigan, Minnesota, Nebraska, Ohio State, Indiana, Penn State. So they got
Rutgers, but they're playing Rutgers off a bye.
right.
So that's interesting. I'll say that's interesting. Then they play Michigan. That's not going to go well. Then they play Minnesota, Nebraska. Those could be winnable games.
So to let you know, they're 2 and 3. They need to find 4.
Find 4 games.
I
They're not going to do it.
I can see 4, but it's a hard 4.
No, the Rutgers, Minnesota, Nebraska, Indiana. Those games kind of turned into toss-ups.
I mean, Nebraska, Indiana, I think they got.
Maybe.
I mean, it's a Matt Rule team that struggles year one, and then an Indiana team that really hasn't shown any promise. Now, a decent PJ Fleck Minnesota team and a decent Rutgers team, I think will be interesting.
Yeah, but I don't know.
All right, fair enough.
I'm not sure they're going to make a bowl this year.
Gotcha.
So I think to answer your question, I think they will sink.
There you go.
They're going to sink.
And might be revived by
Tossed into the Lake Michigan.
might be revived by Kansas's coach.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Sure.
Let's elaborate a little more than we did in our first recording.
Go for it.
Um,
What are we
so
talking about
there's
here?
a lot of names right now that are being thrown around for who is going to replace Mel Tucker at Michigan right now. Some of the biggest names are PJ Fleck at Minnesota, Lance Leipold at Kansas, which he just mentioned, and also I've heard Mike Elko, the head coach for Duke right now. All those I think would be solid choices. If I were, I would lean towards Elko or Leipold right now, honestly, because I think they've done fantastic jobs in places where football is not a big sport, and so like they're just not football schools; they're basketball schools. They've done great there.
Here's another one to throw out for you. Jonathan Smith, Oregon State's head coach.
Yeah. I mean, he's done very, very good as well.
I think it makes a lot of sense just because Oregon State's the odd man out right now in realignment.
Maybe, but also, I don't know. It depends on what Jonathan Smith wants, because Jonathan Smith is an Oregon State alum. Like, he played there. So, you really want to leave your alum for a better school?
But do you want to die on a sinking ship?
He can make something out of that, you know? Why not?
But the opportunities won't be there.
I mean, absolutely. They would have to be like a Boise State.
An early 2000s Boise State, exactly. Or like a Cincinnati 2 years ago.
Oh, this is something we didn't talk about last time.
Sure.
I forgot it to just this very moment, actually.
Let's do it.
So the original plan for the playoff, the new expanded 12-team playoff that's starting next year, was the top 6 conference winners.
It was a 6+6 rather than the 5+7.
Yes, that's what it was originally because people thought that the Pac-12 would still be relevant. When the Pac-12 all but died, it became the Pac-2. Greg Sankey, the SEC's commissioner, suggested that they change it to the top 5
+7.
Yes.
So that way another SEC school could make it.
Champs get automatic bids, +7 at-large bids. He's trying to get SEC schools. They tabled talks for that, meaning, as of now, it's still just 6 and 6.
Mm-hmm.
So that means it's going to be the Power 4 plus 2 Group of 5 teams. Group of 6, maybe. I don't know if Pac-12 is going to survive. We'll see.
Right.
Crystal ball. But I like that. I'm a very big fan of that. I don't want it to be. I want there to be some parity. You know.
You want that real dog in there, underdog to cheer for.
Yes, I want, because a lot of the times it's a little bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy of like, oh, these guys wouldn't compete. You know, they're like they don't play in these games because they wouldn't compete. And then
you have your UCFs that beat Auburn who go undefeated.
And then you don't put them in the playoff, and so then they don't get an opportunity in the playoff. And then people see that and they're like, well, those teams never go to the playoff, so I don't want to go play for that school. And then it's just this cycle where it's like
now because
the SEC just gets all the good players.
So who would be the other 2 conferences right now that would make it? American
would be pretty likely because
and then Mountain West.
it might be the Mountain West right now.
It might be like Fresno State,
It could be
Wyoming,
3 teams from Mountain West: Wyoming, Fresno State,
Boise.
Air Force.
Oh, Air
Air
Force.
Force is 5-0.
There you go.
They're 5-0 right now.
But I wonder how they decide that ranking of like the top 6 and stuff. That is interesting.
It's all the playoff committee.
So it's all subjective.
Yes.
Of like who the top 6 conferences
It's
are.
the top ranked.
So you really got to be cheering for your conference in that instance. Yeah.
In a way, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But so
You're
that was news. I was very excited for that.
Gotcha. Here's a talking point that we didn't get to either. How much does the schedule matter for a team when it comes to, for us at least, ranking these teams? Because we have a lot of disparity between.
Yeah, we butt heads a little bit.
We butt heads quite a bit when it comes to these rankings and putting them together for you all. We both have our own independent rankings.
The rankings, the podcast rankings are on Instagram.
Yeah.
If you want to go follow us.
Go like and follow that.
Yeah.
But we brought up the point of we were disputing Maryland and Kentucky, for example. I want to say is the example that I'm going to give, where I had the take of Kentucky has the best overall win against Florida, whereas and has a very poor schedule after that. They really played nobody up until that point for the most part. And I have them ahead of Maryland, whereas he has Maryland ahead of Kentucky because they've played 3 semi-decent Power 5, in my opinion, bottom feeders in the. That's what I said.
That is what you said.
And
So here's the thing about that. Virginia, first let's start off in the Sager Maryland, both Maryland and Kentucky have terrible ranked strength of schedule in the Sager.
yeah.
Maryland's is better than Kentucky's.
Mm-hmm.
But Maryland, the 3 Power 5 teams that they played, they kind of feast on, was Michigan State lost their coach. Not the same thing it would have been
Right.
prior to the season. Virginia, who sucks, but boy, do they fight.
They're 0-5 suck.
Yeah,
No,
but they fight. They're feisty. They're a feisty.
and
Cavaliers.
but they still lose.
And then Indiana, who's not good, but has a very good defense. They hung 44 on you. That's impressive.
I heard not good.
They're not, but they've got a good defense. 44 on them is impressive.
Mm.
Okay? Kentucky, on the other hand, their biggest win is Florida. Yes. Florida, I think, sucks. Florida's now a 2-loss team.
Against Utah and Kentucky, who are both ranked teams.
Okay. But they put 8 guys on the field against Utah.
Yep, they did do that.
You know, let's overcorrect. They put 13 guys on the field against Kentucky.
Hey, if they don't know, you're all good.
Well, they did know, and they threw a flag. But guess what? Kentucky still scored a touchdown. It didn't matter.
Which is dumb because the play should be dead as soon as that's seen. Play shouldn't have happened. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Some coaching points there from Florida. Not very good.
I don't think Florida's good.
A little bit of a circle of suck going on in the SEC.
Is their quarterback. Graham Mertz is not that good.
Mm-hmm.
Graham, if you're listening, I'm sorry. He's not listening.
You never know.
I don't ever know.
All right.
I'm confident.
You know what time it is?
Yeah, I do, actually.
Well, really, do you
Yeah, it
know?
was in my schedule. It was in my plan.
How about that? We've done this once already.
Yeah.
And we're making it real now.
Yeah, we're making it real.
So one of us is looking forward to this. The other one, not so much.
Yeah, gambling is now legal here in Kentucky.
Yeah. So what we are actually going to do is make Derek the unofficial, remember, gamble responsibly, fiduciary advisor for my sports book
Yep.
and my betting habits.
That's what fiduciaries do.
I mean, the stock market's a big gamble. Let's just apply it here.
If you don't go to your fiduciary, your financial advisor, if you don't meet with them, and they don't give you picks, like on sporting events, like, hey, this is a sure thing.
You're doing it wrong.
Yeah. Ali's gonna knock him out in the first round. Don't worry. Bet the farm.
Now, the unfortunate part is my fiduciary kind of underperformed this week.
Well, we're still positive.
Positive.
Yet to have a negative or neutral week. We were only +2. We had 2 losses and 4 wins.
Like good old.
Those 2 losses were TCU and Coastal Carolina. Who cares?
We were 66%.
Oh, yeah, it's fine, man. We're doing good.
That was all good. Yeah. But this week, let's see what's going on now.
All right. Well, let's look at
The recap.
recap. We had App State, Maryland, Coastal Carolina, Louisville, WKU, and TCU.
All right. So let's.
The portfolio last week. Let's get to the holds. TCU.
Wait. What happened?
Well,
Sorry. App State versus UL Monroe.
barely won against Louisiana Monroe.
Was it a 54-yarder, you said?
4-yard field goal.
Drilled it.
Yeah.
That's what we like because my fiduciary knew that was going to happen.
Yes. Maryland smacked around Indiana, got their offensive coordinator fired. Coastal Carolina dropped one against Georgia Southern.
That was an early pickup.
Louisville won the game of the week against NC State.
That's right.
Now 5-0.
How about that?
WKU won the 100 Miles of Hate against Middle Tennessee State University.
It's a good old fake rivalry there.
Because they don't have fans. Those teams have fans.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And
they don't. Go to one of their games. You can get tickets for like $3 and a hot dog. You give the box office a hot dog and they'll give you a ticket. That's real.
it's not real. And last but not least, we have
Yeah,
TCU.
TCU, West Virginia. Yeah.
Fuck them.
Well, that's what I'm saying. All right, so let's do the holds. TCU. All right, I already tipped my hand when I outright said that they were one of the holds still, but TCU this week, they have Iowa State. That's an easy win. I'm not going to give you the full 4-game rundown like I normally do because we're in a bit of a time crunch because
Just know they got who they got.
They got Iowa State.
Iowa State.
Trash.
Right. Them Seminoles
T-Rash.
ain't doing nothing against these horny toads.
That's right. Next, we've got Western Kentucky University. I actually don't remember who they play, so I'm going to have to look that one up.
Oh, I got it. Western Kentucky plays Louisiana Tech.
Louisiana Tech. That's right. Used to be a rivalry. Not anymore because Louisiana Tech's not good anymore.
They're six.
They don't have fans.
They're 6-point favorites.
They don't have fans. Anyway, I have to hold WKU,
Mm-hmm.
so we're going to keep them.
Mm-hmm.
The other team I have to hold is Coastal Carolina.
They're on a bye,
They're on a bye, so that game means nothing, but I got to keep them.
and unfortunately,
In that portfolio of mine.
yep.
So that's a little bit of a wash this
And then
week. It's fine.
Then you got to hold them against App State.
First, now let's get to the sells and the buys, the fun part.
Yep.
I am forced to sell Louisville because they're finally in the AP top 25.
They sure are. Who are you replacing them with?
I'm replacing them with the fighting Deion Sanders in primetime Boulder, Colorado.
Yep, and they got
Colorado Buffaloes.
and they have Arizona State,
Play Arizona State.
and they are 4.5
If Jalen
favorites.
Rashada doesn't play, they're down to their third string quarterback. Easy get right game.
And we'll see if Shiloh Sanders or Travis Hunter will be back. I don't think Travis Hunter is. Really?
If Jalen Rashada doesn't play, it does not. It does not matter. So Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next, I'm selling Maryland. They play Ohio State.
Not doing it.
No. So we're going to sell Maryland. We're going to buy and replace them with Toledo.
Toledo. Massive favorites this week against UMass, 19.5-point favorites.
Yes. Fun fact. Michigan and Ohio, the states, once went to war over Toledo. And Ohio won.
Didn't know that.
They've got blood and gore and savagery in their DNA in Toledo. And that's why I'm picking them. There's some dogs.
They got them dogs in them.
They got that dog in them.
There you go.
They got that dog gene mutation. Even though they're the Toledo Rockets. Don't know why. Maybe. I honestly don't know the origins of that mascot. Oh well.
Oh, well.
After that, finally, we've got Jackson State.
Jacksonville
State.
Jacksonville
In
State.
Jacksonville, Florida. And they play Middle Tennessee.
Yeah. Who don't have fans.
Yeah.
And they are an underdog. Jacksonville State is an underdog by 3.5 points against a no-fan Middle Tennessee.
Doesn't make sense.
State.
Home field advantage.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Doesn't matter. New FBS school coming in.
Yep.
Trying to ruffle up some feathers.
That's right. That's the portfolio this week. We're gonna
And now
5-0.
Now we're making it real. We usually we're going to start doing these as a parlay. So one total dollar bet. If we win it, we win $7.49 if all 5 are correct.
Yes.
So we'll see what happens here. We're making it real. We're taking these mind of his and his thoughts and all these picks, and we're going to turn it into cold, hard cash.
Yes. That's what we're doing.
Now bet responsibly.
You can do that too.
Remember, bet
If you're in a
responsibly.
state that allows it. Bet responsibly.
Or just do crypto and how I did it in the past. But that's besides the point.
Don't buy crypto. That's more I'm talking about.
Oh, you did like that's how you did it with that. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, bet it in a legal state.
Okay. Did you just advocate for a felony?
Oh, it's not felony.
Are you sure? Is it a misdemeanor?
I don't think it's anything. What did I do that was wrong?
You bet illegally. Cryptocurrency.
This whole thing's gonna get.
Currency of criminals.
We're gonna cut this whole thing out.
If you're a criminal, buy Bitcoin.
Boom.
Trust me.
Money.
If you're not a criminal, what are you doing? Don't buy Bitcoin. But if you are,
Welcome back to the podcast. We had a little segment there that got cut out. Sorry about that. So moving on.
you're not gonna cut that.
You watch me.
What?
I'm the editor. I have the final say. I have all the power here.
Whatever.
I'm going to make it look like you have a big red nose and makeup on. I don't know.
You don't know how to do that.
Give me time.
We're gonna get to the pick'ems.
I'm getting better, man.
All right.
So what do we got here for the
We got a
pick'ems?
Fun slate this week. First off, we're starting it with a game that's probably flying a little bit under the radar. Both teams are unranked. Texas State at Louisiana.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Louisiana. I don't know anything about either of these teams. Only thing I know is that Louisiana lost their coach a couple of years ago to Florida, and Texas State had one of the most transfers in and had an upset against first week again Baylor. Yeah. Give me Texas State. I really don't know anything about these teams.
I'm taking Texas State. I love their coach. He was the coach of Incarnate World last year.
Mm-hmm.
He moving on up just like the Jeffersons.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the Jeffersons.
Okay.
Sorry, I refrained.
Okay.
I'm taking Texas State this one. I like it.
Fair enough.
After next we've got Maryland versus Ohio State. I already tipped my hand with this one.
You
I'm
sure
picking
did.
Ohio State.
You said Maryland out of here. We're trying to make some money, and I'm with you. Ohio State has some good quality wins. Beat a good, decent Notre Dame team. And, give me the Buckeyes.
Yeah. All right. Now we've got LSU versus Missouri. LSU has 2 losses on the season. Missouri is undefeated. It's at Missouri. Both teams are ranked.
Yep.
I'm picking LSU to get right. I got them in this one.
There's a reason why Missouri's undefeated. They're going to stay undefeated. They're going to continue to ride the ship, and Brian Kelly won't know what hit him. 3-3 on the year. Carnage in the Cajun world down there. Yeah, they're going to lose it while they don't speak English. Give me the Tigers.
Which ones?
Oh, crap. The Missouri Tigers.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
All right. I thought that was a bit at first.
No, it wasn't. I genuinely was like, give me the Tigers.
Well, all right.
The Tigers are going to win that game, and that's one thing I know.
That is expert analysis right there.
They're going to move the ball down the field into a better position to score.
Yes.
We didn't even go there.
No, we did not, but we just did. We got Rutgers, we got Wisconsin.
I love me some Luke Fickell. Think he's a top 5 coach in the league or in the nation. I really think Wisconsin's going to continue to figure it out. Give me Wisconsin.
Yeah, Wisconsin's coming off a bye. That, I think, is the deciding factor. I think Luke Fickell's too good a coach to not win coming off a bye against a Rutgers team that is underrated. They're 4-1 right now. You might not know that. They're 4-1 with their only loss being to Michigan, number 2 in the country, number 1 in the College Town playoff, College Town podcast. That's what it is.
Boom.
CTP, number 1 in the CTP top 25. So, yeah, it's gonna be closer than people are thinking. I've got Rutgers still. Next, William and Mary. That's right, William and Mary. You ever heard of them? They're FCS. They're top 10 in FCS. They're playing at winless Virginia.
Mm-hmm. And the Cavalry is not coming for this game. Give me William and Mary in this one. Don't know anything about either of these teams other than that Virginia has sucked this year. And you say they got this fight in them.
They do.
I'm waiting for them to find a way and fight their way to a win.
Well, I think it's gonna happen this week. I think they're gonna pull off. Is it an upset? I don't know.
All I know is if they don't, that seat's getting real hot over there in Virginia.
Probably will. Tony Elliott is their coach.
Yep.
Used to be offensive coordinator at Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, but no, I got Virginia in this one. I think they're gonna win.
Gotcha.
After that, Washington State versus UCLA. I'm going to take Washington State in this one. I like them. Both teams are kind of off a bye, but I really like Cam Ward. Cameron Ward is a very good quarterback. Underrated. I underrated him going into the season. I'm man enough to
No.
admit that.
I don't think anybody had Washington State on their radar.
No, not really.
And they've shot out of a rocket and shown themselves to be a pretty decent team, beating a good Oregon State team in a shootout. And Yeah.
Wisconsin's only loss in the year.
There you go. Well, you know what? I bet against one Kelly. I'm not doing it again. Chip Kelly, UCLA Bruins, they find a way to win this one in LA. That's what I think.
Well, they could. After that, Alabama, Texas A&M. Heated rivalry, not between the schools, but between Nick Saban and Jimbo Fisher.
It's exciting
They
stuff.
don't like each other.
It's like a soap opera, if you will.
It sure is. And I'm taking Jimbo in this one, and the Texas A&M Aggies, with the help of the 12th man, to win against Alabama.
And let me tell you, talking about Virginia's seat being hot, Texas A&M's Aggie seat for Jimbo Fisher, it's only going to get hotter. Why? Because they're losing to the Crimson Tide. They're going to be losing to the Crimson Tide this week. Why? Because I said so.
Yeah, you're a lot more confident now than you were our first go-around.
If I'm being honest, I really don't know how good this Alabama team is. But
I don't either.
there's one thing I know, that the talent at A&M isn't showing just yet.
All right, now we've got Syracuse, UNC. Syracuse has a good record.
Yeah.
4-1.
Against
North Carolina's coming off a bye.
one loss to a Clemson team.
Clemson.
Yeah. Who?
And it wasn't like a blowout. Really.
No. Well,
It
it
was
was like 28-14.
2014.
It was like 2 touchdowns. It wasn't anything crazy. But yeah.
Wasn't absurd.
No.
Still got North Carolina.
Yep.
Defense has been better than people are expecting.
They got that.
Coming off a bye, their offense, I think, is going to fix some issues.
Yep. They got that top quality quarterback in Drake May.
Yes.
They should continue to roll. Look for Mac Brown to continue it going.
Yes. And then, of course, after that, we've got Kentucky, Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
I'm picking Georgia. This is a heart and a head pick for me.
Yeah, you just got that disdain taste for Kentucky.
I do not like Kentucky.
I do not like Kentucky either, but I will admit that they seem like a decent football team this year.
I disagree.
I mean, they
Their
beat.
defense is great. But
Yep. You're not very high on Devin Leary or anything along those lines.
sucked, and I was so shocked by it.
Yeah, he came from NC State.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He was great at NC State.
you sure was. Dang, this sucks.
I was like, dang it, Kentucky got Devin Leary.
So, I will say,
Good.
like we said before already, Georgia looked vulnerable in the run defense. And if there's one thing I know is that Kentucky's running back, is it Reese or Ray Davis? Ray Davis can run the shit out of the ball. He's pretty good at that.
He was really good at Vandy, too.
Yeah, he was. Another great transfer, or at least that one that's panning out at least for them in Kentucky. Yeah. And with all that being said, I think that this one will be close, but since it's in Athens, that is where Georgia is, right? And I think,
Athens, Greece.
yep. So they're playing in front of the columns.
Coliseum.
Not Colosseum, that's Rome. Like columns, like Roman, the Greek column. Yeah. I don't know where I was going with that. Anyway, so I do think if this game wasn't in Athens and it was in Lexington, it'd be a lot closer, and maybe I would have picked Kentucky. But give me Georgia. But I do think this game's gonna be closer than what a lot of people think.
Yes, well, our next game is in Kentucky, the state of Kentucky. It's in Louisville, Kentucky. According to Muhammad Ali, the greatest city on earth. Notre Dame comes to town to play number 25, Louisville.
Man, I really do think it just comes down to which form of Jack Plummer is Louisville gonna get. And that's going to be the difference in this game. I think Notre Dame has a pretty good defense, held Ohio State to 17 points. It's just a question of, are we going to get the Jack Plummer of versus Boston College, scoring 7 straight possessions, and looks like he could air out the ball like no one's business? Or are we going to get the Jack Plummer of Georgia Tech and NC State, where it looked like he doesn't know how to throw a damn ball? Now, with all that being said, Louisville's got some weapons. On offensive side, their defense looked really good against NC State in that Georgia Tech game and found a way to win. Even Boston College as well. All looked really good. You know what? I may be picking my heart over my head here, but give me Louisville.
Look, the issues with Sam Hartman are the same ones, generally speaking, with Jack Plummer. You blitz the guy, panics, doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Decisions, loses their mechanics. Jeff Brom's got that Boilermaker magic in him still. Even though he's a Cardinal, he's no longer a Boilermaker.
What's the record he has against top 5 teams?
At Purdue. His record against top 5 teams was 3-1. Total in his coaching career is 3-2 because he was at Western. He played Alabama.
No.
That was
He got paid for that game.
phenomenal quote from that game. That was I want to see a street fight between the whistles, and he punches the clipboard and breaks it. I mean, you're looking to get fired up. If you're trying to hype yourself up to commit homicide, watch that video, man. But
What did you just say?
look, I imagine our audience has a sense of morality and a conscience. They can't just go out and kill someone. They gotta hype themselves up for it.
Anyway, my goodness.
I'm going Louisville.
All right.
We're gonna kill the. It's gonna be a street fight between the whistles. You hear me?
Jeez.
Next, we've got Fresno State versus Wyoming.
This is going to be a close and good game. If you can stay up late enough to watch it, I think it'll be a really good game. I have Fresno State in my top 25. I think there's a reason for that. I think they're a pretty decent team. Give me Fresno State in this one. Granted, Wyoming's a good team too.
I think Fresno State's getting a lot of credit for beating 2 bad Power 5 teams in Arizona State and Purdue. Sure,
I
think
agree
Fresno
with
State's
that.
Still solid.
Right?
I just think
They're still-
Wyoming has had a more impressive season thus far, despite having a worse record. They beat Texas Tech, who was in the CTP top 25 preseason, who also turns out to not be very good. But they, for a while, kept it close with Texas. So I'm going to Wyoming. It's at Wyoming.
They beat Texas Tech. Did you say that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got Wyoming in this one.
Well, I think it's a fair pick.
All right, finally,
Game of the week.
we got Oklahoma, Texas.
Red River rivalry.
Red River Showdown?
Rivalry.
Rivalry?
Yeah. Showdown rivalry. Same difference. They're going to...
Sure.
Where are they playing again?
It's Dallas in the Cotton Bowl.
There you go. That's where they always play, right? It's like 50-50 orange and red on each side.
Correct. They split it right down.
It's kind of cool to see the...
Very cool.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Texas has shown me everything so far that they can find a way to win games. I don't see why not. Give me Texas.
Give me Oklahoma. Give me Oklahoma.
Yep.
I just think Dylan Gabriel has played very well. They've covered the spread in every single game this year.
Really?
Oklahoma has. Oklahoma's been so much better than people think. Than Vegas is thinking that they're going to be. And Vegas, by the way, very good at picking spreads.
Yep.
They're very good at it. And Oklahoma has beat the spread every single time.
Yeah.
I've got Oklahoma.
Yeah, I hear you.
Well, we had a lot of diversity.
Yeah, we did.
This week.
6 different picks.
Yeah, as always, the picks are on YouTube. You can make the picks yourself. You have a say.
Yeah, guys.
You're competing too.
Mhm.
You guys are in last. You guys suck at this.
Mm-hmm.
But
As always, thanks for watching.
yeah, let's hope the audio worked. Subscribe.
Yep, like and subscribe. Really helps the channel out.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Street fight between the whistles. Go Cards.
Go Cards. See you guys.